Rightio, we're rolling.
Yeah, right.
Jase Tom. Been wanting to do this one for a while. The most lateral thinker probably in my life, but also probably one of the blokes I lean on the most for when I need some alternative thoughts.
Non-linear is
Non-linear.
Non-linear thinking is what I'm running with.
I have a story here. I think I've briefly mentioned this to you, but so it might have been 2015. I landed at Leopold Football Club in Geelong, and from the country, and there was a few country boys there then, and I came to learn after the fact you sort of tended to connect with a few of the country boys, Boggle, Closey.
Yep.
I'm sure there's probably a few, or all the Warrnambool boys, Kevy, Lucas. But we had a pracky match this was like early days, we had a pracky match in Ballarat, and you offered to pick me up and sort of got me in on the in. So that I appreciated that at the time, because I was, it was obviously a new experience for me. So that I appreciate that, mate. Thank you for that. Little throwback. But then since that time, we've had a journey.
We have. I think I did the same thing to one of the other guys you mentioned there.
Yeah.
And for about 12 months, he thought I was Greg Hardy. Boggle thought I was someone else. Yeah. So at least you remember me a bit better than he did.
I did. I could differentiate between you and Greg. Ball drop was a little bit different. My memory of you at Leopold was, because I've got like 3 phases that we went through, like 3 significant phases that I have had involvements with you, obviously where we are now.
Yep.
Early days, so like my early experience with Jase Tom, and then when you sort of took over the coaching in 2019 at Leopold. But my memory of you early days, I don't know if this is correct or not, so pull me up, but you've got a very good footy resume. We'll briefly touch on it. I know you don't like doing that, but we will touch on it briefly. But you seemed to ride the highs and lows of footy back then.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would be like to connect with you as a brand new junior fellow was like difficult. And but then other times, like as I said, you picked me up and you treated me extremely, extremely well, which I'm very appreciative for. So that was sort of my experience then. And then
before we get into the episode, this episode is sponsored by Exert Fitness. I actually know the boys behind Exert, Ben and Isaac, and I'm excited to partner with them because they genuinely live and breathe discipline and consistency. They are 2 normal Aussie blokes who decided they wanted more from themselves, became extremely disciplined and consistent, and completely transformed the way they live and operate. These days, they are taking on wild endurance and ultra events, and they're all in on building the brand properly. They train hard, live it every day, and the brand reflects that. Their gear is elite, super comfy, great quality, and built for everything from everyday wear through to ultra events. Use code PROTOCOL15 for 15% off. That's PROTOCOL15. Link to their store and socials is
experience then, and then you went to Bannockburn, I think a couple of years in, and then I had a few years at Leopold, ended up back at my home club in Warrnambool, and then I came back for, I think it was 2019, I remember for 2019 or 2020 for around
before
COVID year.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to you again that time, and I thought, wow, there seemed to be a significant change.
Yep.
And that's more the Jase that I probably know now. Extremely positive, relationship based, just looking forward pretty much all the time. So that was that change. And then as it turned out, we both had a bit of a life change. I went to Darwin after that year. The COVID year sort of ruined that. We had about 400 injuries in that team that year from memory. and then you moved to Far North Queensland.
Yep. Here we are.
Which is why we're here today. So yeah, I guess, is that journey fair or what's your
I think it's
recollection of that?
the shift that you talk about, and I don't know if we've ever spoken about this, but through some other things I'm doing at work at the moment, I literally I looked at my calendar, and it was 2019. I can tell you the phone call. That it shifted, and it was from, like you said, I'd bounced around. I was riding the highs and lows. Growing up, footy was my identity. Like, you know, if I played well, I was a good person. If I was struggling, I was not a good person, and then you obviously avoid those feelings. So I'd go missing, and which is what you picked up, and it's bang on. But I played 2019. I think we won the premiership at Bannockburn. I'd only played like 8 games, real in and out, like you just talked about. Just no purpose, no enjoyment, like, and probably at a stage of my life that was just really flat.
Yeah.
And end of 2019, I started coaching, and my coaching role was about 8 young blokes at Bannockburn, and that started to give me some purpose. And Matt Aston, Moose, rang me because the coach at Leopold at the time had got an opportunity to go and coach at Geelong. And Moose asked me about doing it. And that, you know, I had a few meetings with, you know, a few of the leaders at Leopold, and that obviously ended up happening. But I've done a lot of reflection since, and it was that moment that Moose believed in me. I never would have applied for that in a million years, thinking that I was able to do that. Yeah. And that's just a self-confidence thing.
Yeah.
And I can, we can talk about that from that point. And it was just someone believing in me, and, you know, Moose and I knew each other personally, but he believed that I could do it.
Yeah.
And I was hell-bent to prove him right.
Yeah. The footy identity, connecting your mood with footy identity is, I can see that as well personally. It's a shock. I hate that I feel like I am getting to a point now where I think I've had it for a long time. It's local level football. I'm riding the highs and lows of, but it's so much bigger than that. Did you have that all your? Probably
I think
it's just so, like, footy's such a big thing in Victoria.
Well, it's how we're conditioned. Like, you think about the first question you get asked after you played footy. What do you reckon it is?
How'd you go?
How'd you go? Did you win? How many did you kick? So you build your identity and your self-worth around that. Like, so as a full forward that I was, it was how many goals I kicked, because afterwards, that's when the messages or that feeling of importance would come. Yeah. If I kicked 8, I'd get plenty of it. If we won, if we were flying, you know, you're walking around like on top of the world. So it's just, I think, how we're naturally conditioned, or without the skill set to think otherwise.
And you just avoid it. If you have a shit day, just avoid it.
Yeah, then you just go quiet. You just not looking at the paper on the Monday morning when you
heaps to go through here in terms of our FNQ connection, but the Jase Tom as a young kid from, I don't know, schooling, Leopold schoolboy, or what?
Yeah, I think
what was your journey there?
And that really influences, like, I'm sure we'll get into it, like what I do now. But school for me was just about being social. Yeah. And similar to the footy stuff, just avoiding anything that felt uncomfortable. So, any like legitimate attempts to do well at school were just, they were never like, it was just never an option in my mind at the time. Like, I had this, degree of intelligence, and there was no point in doing that because, I sort of knew what I wanted to do work-wise, and challenging myself or putting the hard work in, I just didn't have that in me then. And it was lots of report cards that talked about potential and a lack of commitment, which again, I internalised plenty of that that I've been able to bust up later.
Yeah.
And then influence the work, which is,
Where you're at now.
Yeah.
You ended up in policing and detective work. Was that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, when I was like 6 years old, I had a best friend at the time, and his father passed away before we were friends. But the story was pretty powerful in the house, with his family.
Yeah.
And his dad was a police officer, and he died in a motorbike accident, and that must have resonated really strongly with me at the time emotionally, because from that age until I joined at 22, there was never anything else happening, career-wise. The entire, how long's that? 16 years, it was just, that's what's happening. And so I went in at 22 after sort of mucking around for a few years.
Yeah. Policing for a few years, and then you grow into the detective role or get promoted to that
so
role,
how it worked in policing was, there wasn't a real set sort of way, but like anything, you show a certain skill set, or you get opportunities.
Yep.
So pretty quickly in policing, I worked out that I wasn't a real big fan of the uniform policing.
Yep.
Probably didn't really engage like my non-linear thinking style.
True.
Whereas investigative work certainly did. There was, endless ways to think and collaborate, working as a team.
Yeah.
That was probably some of the strongest teams that I'd worked within. When I say strongest, the ability to really challenge each other.
Yeah.
Because the work was highly scrutinised. That if you're in court, with high stakes, that you didn't have the ability to hide in the corner. You're in the witness box, and you're justifying every decision you've made. Sometimes 12, 18 months later.
Yeah,
so the culture there was one of just really high expectations.
Yeah.
But support to do that in the teams that I worked with.
Yeah.
And I think when I came out later, that was something that I really missed.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably pushed a lot of the ways that I coach and lead and stuff now, is just how that brought the best out of me at work, was the ones that people I really trusted.
Yeah.
And knew that they had my back.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't tell me what I wanted to hear. They'd tell me what I needed to hear. And it never feels good, but it made me better. And I think we've had coaches as well that, Steve Clark was certainly like that, how to describe him, that he cared more than anyone. I'd probably come across as a leader.
Yeah.
But he'd clip you, wouldn't he? He'd tell you when this is not good enough.
Yeah.
And because of the care that you knew he had, I'd change my behaviour pretty quickly.
The respect for him. Yeah, so I guess when you put in that aspect, like the policing and detective stuff, so if your decisions are not sound or don't have the right backing, that's going to be faced in a court of law.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can't be hiding and going, I don't know.
And you never did anything by yourself.
Yeah.
I think that was another big lesson. There would be a primary, I might be working on something as the primary person.
Yeah.
But I'd have 8 people that are, adding their input, supporting.
Yeah.
It was always a,
Yeah.
And I think that's, not for a second do I think I know everything about, it's going to have the input of I still had the lead, and you'd still make the decisions, but it's within the context of lots of really experienced, good operators that are, they're clipping your work. So, and I just loved that. I just thrived in that type of environment. And it's probably the bit, like I said, the bit that I missed and has been challenging. You and I have done some coaching together, and you're probably one of the few that that really embraces it and seeks it and asks for it.
Yeah.
Where it can be. And you know, the other thing now I'm talking and thinking about it, it's also that proximity. You know, we worked. Sometimes we do outrageously long shifts together. So you build such a strong connection with the people around you and the trust that you've got to have.
Yeah.
And you know, I probably haven't. You don't get that at community footy. We've all got families and lives and stuff, so you don't have that. You know, I was probably trying to bring that same level when that trust and relationship wasn't quite there.
Yeah, I think if you don't have the relationship, people can resist against it a little bit. But personally, I enjoy it and
makes you better, doesn't it?
Makes you heaps better.
Yeah,
it's a bit of just not being soft. Whether or not that's a bad thing, I think that's probably something that's.
It's not comfortable. It's not. It doesn't. I don't think it ever feels nice.
Nah.
But you know, a day later, when you see the improvements that you've made off that, I think that's the bit that.
Yeah. Did you? What was the reason for leaving the police force to take?
It's pretty footy. When I say footy, it was seeing the impact that coaching had on the trajectory and outcomes and things that young fellas, I think of some of them boys that played footy at Leopold when I first started coaching, some of the guys from down your way, and just seeing the difference in, I was, the highs and lows, and how it was, that real support, relational stuff that facilitated that.
Yeah.
And I think that just shifted my perspective of the work that I was doing. And I've been doing it for 11 years, and I think, as soon as I don't get a strong sense of purpose out of something, I lose interest pretty quick, and that's probably what happened with policing. Had my time again, I probably would have handled it differently in terms of how it ended. I think I started studying. I started studying psychology at the time. And sort of that with the coaching really gave me a spur to be doing something else into the work that I ended up going into.
Does any of this stuff weigh on you? Like obviously you probably see some things that most of the general public would not see or be involved in.
It's a good question to ask. It's been 5 years since I left now, and it absolutely did. I think you pretend it doesn't exist, particularly in a attempt to be masculine and to fit in, and I don't think that's the fault. That's just a cultural thing.
100%.
That I was too ignorant, didn't know, just should be right, I'll be fine. Until I wasn't, and had to do a fair bit of work to, I remember a few years later, I was doing it pretty tough, and I've loved all my work I've done, and I was struggling to work, and but I was way determined to push, to find ways to so it's tough, it's a hard one to talk about that. I think I'd probably open up Pandora's box if I really got into it, but that's not to say that it certainly knocked me around for a few years, and that stuff, it stays, but I'm accepting of that, and got to take into account the strength and stuff that's given me, and bit of yin and yang, I suppose. It's and I think now when tough times come, that they're temporary. That this isn't fun and this sucks, but I know it's temporary. And I think that if I hadn't done all that, I'm not sure I'd had that resilience and that strength to know that no, this is going to pass.
Yeah.
This sucks, but you're not keeping me down.
I always admire people who go into the police force, because to me it just seems you just seem to be dealing with negative always. It's like almost at the bottom of the trying to think of the term, like downstream. There's upstream methods and downstream things. And it's like you're a prosecutor.
I did that a little bit at the end.
So you're in court.
Yeah.
So I do admire people. It's a necessity and certainly something that is needed, but I admire the people who make that choice to go into that field.
Yeah, I think I think Gavon, and he talked about the bond and the camaraderie, and I think certainly the emergency services do it similar.
100%.
And I've talked about that already. That the connections and the trust that you have in the people around you, that's what. Yeah. And other industries and other occupations probably don't have that.
No. The part you talk about, the detectives having those brutal conversations and knowing in the back of your mind this has to stand up in, and lawyers will try and ask questions in certain ways to elicit a response in a specific way, which then puts the jury in doubt. So you'd need to know your shit.
Yeah.
When you're in front of...
You have to.
Yeah. And if a question gets asked in a certain way, not be tricked or...
Yeah.
That is also a very healthy workplace to be in.
Yeah.
For like your personal development and that sort of stuff. Because other jobs are just, box ticking, boring as batshit.
You get told what you want to hear.
Exactly.
And then, that's what I think... I love the most, that no one will tell you what you want to hear, and they'll tell you what you need to hear.
You've definitely taken the part of telling people what they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Not what they don't want to hear. It's with the right, with the long-term vision in mind. You don't just start down potting people for no reason.
No, I don't get a kick out of it.
No, it's not that. It's definitely not that. I don't see that ever.
Yeah. People do take
100%.
They do take it like that. Where, I've got a pretty direct communication style, and but people do, from their experiences, interpret that. And I'd like to think I'm getting better at pulling that back a bit and being a bit more understanding of that people have. I mean, you've told me that a couple of times. That people have had the same experience as I have, and. Yeah, just being a bit more empathetic about that, I think.
Personally, if I had my choice, I would just always have a you or equivalent. I've got a couple other people in my life who have your sort of personality, and I'm not you. I'm probably the other side, but the people like you make shit happen, or bring in things, or throw a little firebomb in there, but it makes shit happen. It doesn't. If people don't get offended by it, which, as I said, personally, doesn't really worry me. If you got the intent, footy club work, whatever the intention is, for a positive outcome, I personally would always have someone like you. I think it is a must.
Yeah.
Another mate of ours, Greg Upland.
I was just thinking that at the same time.
That's example 101.
Yeah. It's just, being able to see that intention. So maybe, just being really clear about showing that that's the intention.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's always a journey, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Always, mate. The journey's the best part. I guess your transformation, we've sort of touched on. Well, you've come out of the coaching stuff, sort of helped transform that. The growth, watching other people grow. Is that, would it be fair to say that's when you got into your coaching at the end of 2018, I guess, at Banner?
Yeah.
And that gave you the purpose of being like, okay, I sort of enjoy this.
I told you about that phone call that Moose 2019. I think that Christmas time I got family over in Adelaide, and we drove over there 8 hours, and we listened to Hugh Van Cuylenberg.
I remember.
The Resilience Project, and that was another real light bulb moment. You know, talk about like just points in time that shift trajectory and stuff, which is again a big part of what we do now. It's about trajectory shifts, and that phone call, you know, doing some coaching, and then all of a sudden that I've got this, people that believe in me that you know, I got to go and do this. I got to learn how to do it. So, you know, I listened to that audio book, and it talked. The biggest one I got out of there was gratitude.
Yep.
Just the ability to focus on the things that you're grateful for, and I really put that into practice, and then had just instant feedback about this works.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing this, and all of a sudden, everywhere I look, there's just good stuff. Like, and then that just starts a, you know, like a snowball. Like, and that got me into like a thirst for knowledge and education.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd read a book. What was I? 2019. What's that? I was 33. I don't reckon I'd read a book for 15 years. Yeah. Like, maybe I would have read a bit of one. I probably wouldn't have finished it in high school. Probably cartoon books was, you know, like the last. And then, you know, that audio book, and all of a sudden I'm starting to buy books. I'm reading like 20 books a year, and I'm reading a lot of psychology stuff. You know, I was interested in that, and I'm like, I'm reading all these books. I might as well, you know, go and study it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's like just snowballed. So that change you talked about, yeah, there's the coaching, but then there was like this sort of education. I started to educate myself, and I started to learn.
Yeah.
Just learn different things, and just sort of explore curiosity about, why does this happen?
Yeah.
And find avenues to learn more about it. So I think that, the mix of those things sort of sent me into that different trajectory of what I did for work and stuff. Yeah.
That was, you were still a detective at that. You're still working in the policing at that time.
Yeah, you always test me with my years, Das. So 2019, strutting around, being a coach, and then we played the first practice game at Deakin Uni there, and the phone started going off about COVID.
True.
Yeah, so, and then that season got wiped out. And that was an interesting time because, you know, obviously everyone was struggling then, and talked about that gratitude stuff, but we had obviously an incredibly close group at Leopold at the time, and everyone's feeling flat, and you know, they've lost all this purpose and connection, you know, and we were able to do a little bit through Zoom, and you know, I think we were playing PlayStation there a bit. We had like 10 player, you know, but it was all just a connection based, you know, and it certainly wasn't ideal, but we're able to maintain some level of connection, and that for most, I think a lot of us, that was probably the high points during that period of time.
100%.
So then the next year was obviously pretty tough performance wise, and I remember Gary Hocking, he came to coach Leopold at the end of my time when I was moving up to Cairns, and he was incredible. Like, I distinctly remember telling him, and I had a lot of self-doubt then about myself as a coach. I said I'd coach a game, and I just wouldn't know what to say. Like, I'm watching a game for 4 quarters, and I'm like, I come out with the, come on boys, let's fire up. You know, I couldn't see anything. And, you know, guys like Ollie Tate and that had played 150 VFL games, and that would come up, and he'd point all these things out, and I'd be like, as soon as he pointed it out, I'd be like, oh yeah, like, you know, the wingers are collapsing, and I just didn't know any of this stuff. And I remember saying to Buddha, but I just don't think I'm cut out as a coach. Like, I just don't see. And he said to me, he goes, you haven't been exposed to it. Like, you start getting exposed to it, and then all of a sudden you'll start to see it. And and I was able to do that. Like, I was able to start learning bits and pieces,
Yeah.
and now I can watch a game of footy and say, 50 different things that I've learned along the time because I've had exposure.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time I was like, I'm no good.
Yeah,
this guy, this guy's a good coach. He's a good coach. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it was just that, again, that little, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So moved up to Cairns at the end of the 2021 year, and then started the Tiger journey.
Tiger journey. Was the Cairns thing was just a change of career, change of lifestyle?
Yep. It was
obviously post-COVID, which, a lot to be said for that in Victoria. Lots of people sort of wanted a bit of a change and whatnot. But
I think lifestyle.
You're a fisherman as well.
Yeah, a bit of
Avid
fishing.
fisherman.
I think, like you said, I think it was a pretty common thing, that lifestyle and being stuck inside. I remember we went on a holiday of a couple of days down to Warrnambool, and it was like 14 degrees, and we were stuck inside the whole time because it was raining. And I think that was a bit of a shift moment. It's like, what are we doing? And we'd been to holidays up here a lot with friends and stuff, and it was, it's just like, right, pull the trigger.
Have a look.
When I came out, I was going to get a job at fisheries. I'd had the job, and but then I'd rang up AFL Cairns about doing some coaching with the Gold Coast Suns Academy and stuff. And they got Marcus Big Cuss said to me, he shared a job ad that was about the Tigers role, coaching and managing, which it blew me away. Like, we've been in local footy, all our lives, and I'd never heard of anyone working full time in a local footy club. It was like, what? What's this? Like, full time.
Too good to be true.
Yeah, it's like full time footy. It's like
weather.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is cool.
Well, the North Cairns journey. We're going to write a book about this one day.
Oh, yeah.
This will be a great story, mate. I think this could go. The actual North Cairns story could go big. But I was in Darwin at the time. We obviously had the connection through Leopold. I had no plans post Darwin. I wasn't going to stay there. And you rang and you said, "What are myself and Charlotte, my wife, doing?" And
was all that diplomatic?
you might have been a bit more straight up. I remember taking a call because I think I was. Oh no, we touched base because I knew I had left for Darwin, and I seen an announcement on the Leopold page or something like that. That said, Jase is stepping down to pursue or to move to Cairns, and that would have been our first. I would have touched base at that point, but then I think once you got you went up here. You moved up here late, like maybe in November, December, possibly.
There was. I remember coming up,
doing a little bit of stuff from back home
as the airports opened up.
Right.
Yeah, literally the day of. Flew up.
Yep.
And
straight into it, and so very brief history of North Cairns Tigers when you got here, but they hadn't won a game for 4 years, roughly. I think they had an average loser margin of close to 200, thereabouts. Struggling to field teams, players playing at both time slots each week. I guess, financially not too well off. And so the league had decided to appoint someone into the role to try and be, a footy coach, more so, footy ops initially. But I think once you got in, obviously you gave me a call. Once I knew you were here, I was like, okay, this is a real consideration to come over here because we didn't know if we were going east, west, south or whatever. And then ended up over here. But when you landed up here, what was sort of, I guess, the North Cairns you were confronted? I know there's quite a bit to be said for it all, but I guess what were you sort of confronted with?
It's hard to know where to start here because it is, and there's obviously the footy element, but there's so many subplots that are so much bigger, deeper than footy.
Yeah.
I think the it was made really clear to me the size of the challenge, and just part of my makeup is like I could see that there was opportunity, like it, and that just really appealed to me. That like, oh, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be like a cool journey, like, and because I know a couple of years before, like during that COVID time, they'd done a similar thing in the league, and COVID had hit, and they were pretty clear to me that this was like the last chance. That, you know, if this didn't work, because where the club had been for the last 10 years, that it just wasn't viable to continue. So, like, I was under no illusion. I wasn't coming in thinking that, you know, it's just going to be a normal coaching job. So I don't think there was much in those like early days that surprised me. Like, I think we had 6 guys at the first training session, and you know, 3 of them were some older fellas that were just coming down to help out, you know, and trying to get it going. But, you know, and you've had Gav on, but you've heard me talk about Gav before, like about how important he was, you know, just as, like a really trusted person by my side. Like, you know, he was huge in terms of, the journey. But yeah, the first thing was, it was just everything was a challenge. As in, but I knew that coming in. So, and then just being able to think long term. I think like that. We're not so like this isn't changing next week. And then really, and I still do this now with I was helping out Nong and Jonah with some coaching on the weekend in a junior game under 15s, and they got to touch up the boys, but like gratitude. Like I looked through the scores on the phone, and I seen in the first half that the Lions had kicked 8 goals, but in the second half they'd only kicked 3, and I'm not sure we would have picked that up. Like we just wouldn't have noticed. But what does that message send to those young, you know, to those boys about that second half? You know, so we spent a lot of time in that first year looking for those things. And I think because of that, we got battled by 100 points every week, but it didn't, I don't know, for me it never felt like that. It felt like we were on a journey and we were ticking things off. We obviously won that first game, which would probably go down as the best win I've ever been involved in. And then we got some momentum up and
went from there.
Away we went.
That year for me was, considering our average losing margin would have been around the 100, was actually, I don't know if it was the, talking back to the footy identity stuff but that pressure off of not the footy being just completely dictating your mood or your energy. I had such a fun year that year. And like in hindsight, I'd think why? Because, and then in years more recent, I've still had unbelievable years, but I've ridden the highs and the lows much more. And I think, why is my year of getting beaten by almost 100 every week more enjoyable than a year?
What'd you come up with?
A year that when we're competing for... I don't know. I think it is relating to the identity piece of it, or the pressure of actually having to perform. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just an interesting outlook for me on that, because you would think it on the outside it should be the other way around. I think for me it's we direct our focus. Like we get to choose, you know, where we direct our focus, and in that first year it wasn't going to be on wins and losses. Like so we directed it somewhere else. And that could have been on our numbers at training, how many people paid registrations, you know, personal improvement by some of the players. Like how deep do you want to dig into those things? I think we look at things so simplistically that win-loss, touches, goals. Like there's so much more to
footy than that. And there's so much more opportunity as a coach or as a leader
Yeah.
to impart that, because it changes, it shifts, the meaning that we're getting out of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, I think we just, I don't know, revert to the easy one or the more common one. Which is wins losses.
That's footy 101, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just going back to the...
Yeah. But it's on us as
100%.
the leaders
Yeah.
to change that.
Yeah.
So, and then there lies the importance of a solid team that, right, let's pick our focus
Yeah.
and let's narrow down on that. And all your language and your behaviours, and if we get to last year, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And,
So the journey from, obviously the journey was, I think, we had their first win back in that initial year. I think we won 2 or 3, maybe 2 games that year from memory. And then I guess your philosophy around, in terms of what was your philosophy around making the club better? Or
you know the answer to that. It's the people. It's good people, multiply, and they reverberate around a team or an organisation. So, I think I looked for people, and I did a fair bit of reference checking, you'd get, I don't call hundreds of people, and once there became a bit of interest, and not to the point where I don't think I knocked anyone back, but the effort or the effort you go to make it work logistically and stuff, which there was a bit there, in terms of employment and accommodation and stuff, would be guided a bit on some of the reference stuff.
Yeah.
So just hearing, what sort of person such and such is, then you'd meet them and, the questions they were asking, I think we saw in year 2 what that meant, that, to get those type of people around,
footy one is obviously a big part of has been a big part of my life, still is, but also workplace and just even your personal relationships. I could not be a bigger advocate of just getting good people around you. It just is they say rising, what's it called? Rising tide
lifts all the boats.
Lifts all boats, or you're a reflection of the 5 people around you.
Yeah.
You see all these quotes and whatnot all the time, but it is genuinely, you really have a choice of what you want or what you want to be, and that is the way to do it, in my opinion. And I've seen it in my workplace, my personal life, and footy, which are 3 really big parts of my life.
What do you think though? We can, throw around the terminology of good people, but what does it mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you ask anyone, what are your friends like? Oh, they're good people. So, I suppose the things that I looked for, or that I really wanted to bring in, was a sense of selflessness that want to push others to be better and help the common. I think footy clubs can be challenging places when there's lots of individuals pulling in different directions. And our group needed just that selflessness. And we got some rippers like that that knocked back lots more money, made big moves and stuff. And I loved, when we won it, some of the boys that were there that day that weren't playing anymore, But that's the stuff I remember. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. That's the impact the place had on them. And I think that is really because of there's others. It's not about what they did
No.
and, you know, what they achieved.
Yeah.
It was about others that wanted to come back and watch the others, you know, get that success.
Yeah, yeah.
So, when you're saying good people, it's that, I think, the selflessness, but then a bit of grit too.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, there's plenty of selfless people, but then there's still that grit with teeth and, all right, it's time to get our hands dirty and go to work a bit, you know.
Yeah.
I think but they're probably the two things that...
It's a great two great traits. Together, I agree. Alone, they can be dangerous. On our journey there, year 2, I think we snuck into the elimination final. And
we won that.
And we won it. It was
Is that when Brad Ryan was doing finger points and...
It was just howling wind that day, and we there was no 666 rule or anything back then, and I think we just loaded up our defence when the wind.
I just remember Brad Ryan. There's two things I remember from that day. I remember Brad Ryan coming over from Darwin and turning it on and getting real excited about it, which I hadn't seen from him. And I still, whenever I talk to him now, I still remind him about his finger pointing, and I really enjoyed that. And I remember it was quite a hot day. And I remember a couple of the boys that had worked so hard that they were like spewing at half time, that like they'd pushed themselves that hard with their effort that they were like, Are you willing to share the story of your pre-game speech that day?
Did I make up a white lie?
Yeah, I think you might have been fed some information that day.
Via you?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Can't remember.
I can't quite remember.
I can't recall the exact story, but I do remember it most likely would have been along the lines of some commentary around our team, the Tigers. Some incorrect information about the Tigers, was it?
No, I thought it was maybe some pre-booking some flights.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yes. There's nothing wrong with a white lie in football, is there?
There's lots of famous stories that get told many, many years later.
Well, they weren't confirmed or unconfirmed.
Well,
it may have happened.
It circled back that night, hadn't it? That,
some flights have been booked for the game next week.
Yeah.
We released that pre-game.
I'm pretty sure you.
Yeah, I think I did. I do remember that now. Yes.
Yep.
I did hear it off a reliable source. So we made it to the next week in that year. We were eliminated the following week, but I think would be fair to say we exceeded. We probably weren't really expecting to make finals that year. So whilst we didn't make it to the big dance, we were quite chuffed to get there. The following year, Sam...
He was coaching that first year.
He coached the first year too.
Yeah, me and him co-coached that.
That's right, yeah. And then the next year we make it to our first grand final against Cutters.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great year that year.
Mm.
Really growing. Didn't quite get the chockies on the day. And then last year there's lots of stories in between which we'll go through, but I guess we get the win.
Yeah.
We probably not highlight, but story, final game before we roll in, we get done by 70 or 80 points. But we had a mindset thing that was introduced by yourself maybe around 12.
Yeah, I reckon there's about 8 games to go. Oh, yeah, 6 to 8 games to go.
Around 10 or 12.
Yeah.
And that evolved among the playing group.
Did.
In all of those rounds.
Yeah.
This will roll into the next part as well, but mindset's probably would be one of your strongest or one of your biggest strengths, in my opinion, around how and why. How has that come to be?
Have you got the text there?
The text?
The text I sent you?
I do. I have it here.
I'll
have to put it on the screen.
This is an interesting one to ask because there's obviously a bit of movement. I was 38 I'm 39 now, so I was 38.
Yeah.
And I played, like you said, footy. I played plenty of footy, and I had a couple of years in the VFL, and thought I was going to make the AFL a couple of times, highs and lows, and then thought I was useless the next week. That same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I played in 8 grand finals and lost 6, and nearly all the ones I've lost, we've been in the top team, expected to win. I've been the leading goal kicker, and I've failed miserably on grand final day. And I think I had the nickname The Curse for a while back in Geelong, because I did that at a couple of different clubs. I lost 2 in a row at Amos, Leopold, lost 1 at Banno.
Yeah.
So they call me The Curse. And in all, like, I'd played, I don't even know if I'd be close to 400 or something, but all those games, if I was getting beaten, I'd tell myself, you're not good enough. Like, this guy's going to smash you, And that then my actions followed.
Yeah.
That, I can't beat him, so I just give up. And I did that over and over again. And then the opposite, if I was on top, I was flying.
Best ever.
So when I sent that text to you, there'd obviously been a few challenges with coaching and that at the club, and I think that was a bit of an experiment, like to myself, like to be like, all right, I'm going to go back and play footy, and I'm going to dominate. Like I just decided that's what's going to happen, and that's what I'm going to go and do. And I'm sure that people listen to this, and this happens a bit, and arrogant, like, geez, you love yourself, like. That's not what it is. No. Like, it's actually setting the direction of my behaviour, and that you rule it out the second you have that inner voice telling you that you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. Like, I say this to the boys, don't we, that you might as well don't worry about going out there. Yeah. Like, if that's what you're telling yourself, like, and so when I sent you that text, I think I knew that I was going to do that. Like, and I had unwavering confidence that was going to happen. But then I had this thought in my head around, can we get the rest of the boys? Can we get a group, like, to think like this? Like, and that's why I text you, because I'm like, I can't do it. Like, no way. I'm like, if you come on board, there's 2 of us, and we've both been at the club for a long time. We're strong leaders, Yeah. I reckon we could get a few more on. Yeah. And I'm interested to know. I know this is you asking me questions, but I'm interested to know what you thought when you seen that message come through. Like, maybe, I don't know if we've got to give some context so it makes sense.
I'll give the context. So I won't bore people searching through, but there was a message in, again, around 10 or 12, basically saying, from you to me, saying, I'll come back and play, only on the proviso that we win it, and there's no other choice. We don't have any other option. That's
Yep. Just said, like, not if
we might win it,
or we can if it goes well, or we win it. That's it.
I'm only playing if we win it.
We win it.
Yeah. And I'm definitely more conservative than you are, but it probably gave me the push and the confidence to actually just ride it and roll with that. And I legitimately thought we could win it. Like, I knew that we could win it. But the challenge was getting the other boys.
You just said could.
Well, I don't think at the time I was definitely like, okay, I can win it right now. So it was a bit of a journey for me.
Yeah.
But we had a game. I think there was a game. I don't know if I thought it might have been earlier than that text, but I legitimately thought we could beat any team in the comp. But the challenge for me was going to be getting 21 other guys on the same page to have that belief, because we didn't have a lot of older players. And there was a couple other teams that were strong as well. So, but once I got to that point, like I knew we would win it. Yeah, it wasn't just an instant thing for me.
I don't know the timing, but I remember Ange Postecoglou was managing Tottenham Hotspurs in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was around the same time. He ended up getting sacked, but he'd said in 2 years that he'll win a trophy with Spurs, and he fronted up to a lot of media stuff where he was getting challenged because they were struggling in the league.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning the Europa League, and it was the first trophy in quite a while. And I remember talking about that, but like there was a big on language, and there was never a we think we're able to, and that's why the media jumped on him, because he said we're doing it, we're going to win it, we're going to win a trophy. Yeah. And he stuck to his guns the entire time, and they won that European League.
Yeah.
And I think that really resonated with me. And I read his book and stuff, and he talked about his comfort in saying that and it not happening. That he'll wake up the next day and he'll cop the criticism, and he'll cop people telling him that he's arrogant and, no, how good do you think you are? He'll cop all that.
Yeah.
Because that mindset and that language, enables it to happen.
Yeah.
So I really latched onto that and just loved the concept of that, and had a really similar thought that I'm really comfortable. I remember telling Boggle, you mentioned him earlier, that when I came up here, that we'd win the premiership in the first 2 years. So 2 years, give me 2 years, we'll win one. It took us 4. I think I owe him some money that I haven't given him yet. but I could live with that.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Yeah.
When you say you went, because that's probably the biggest thing I've learned, right, is just putting it out there, and then actually, I think that's where people get scared or get they don't want to do it. I also think, slightly off topic, but like a bit of a tall poppy syndrome in Australia, which shits me to tears, and now I don't care about it anymore. But I have cared about it for sure, because if you seem to be arrogant, putting any positive or aspire to something that's quite out there, like people want to see you fail. Not everyone, but a big portion of people. But yeah, I guess in terms of having that goal, so you've got the we win it mentality, but also knowing that if you fail, it's like what's the yin and yang of it, or how does it? It's sort of a hard question.
I it's that I can live with myself.
Yeah.
I can. I've made lots of stuff. Like I just talked about that 2 years one. Was I wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Does that make me a failure? Yep. Failed.
Yeah.
Okay. As in, have we got others right? Look, this one we're talking about now.
Yeah.
We got it right.
Yeah.
Would we have done that if we, had it been flip floppy about we could, if we played really well, we could. For me, not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance would we have done what we did last year.
Yeah.
If it wasn't.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
The North Cairns journey has been extremely, extremely rewarding, challenging. There's been plenty of ups and downs, but the journey's been phenomenal. I had a woman on the other day, Susan Rath, and she has a concept about elevate, and how it's like you get to a point and then being able to elevate, because you don't often just get to a point and be like, okay, I'm happy here. It's like elevating to the next point and to the next point and to the next point. And I thought that was it's really just a journey, because you're always you're never there. Such. It's always just like, here, go, okay, where are we going? But actually putting that into a framework where it's like, okay, this is the point. If you fail, it doesn't matter. You just keep going and going and going. So I thought that's a good. When she said it to me, I thought, yeah,
that is cool.
That's a good,
Yeah.
cool way to do it.
And we've seen that, like, and this is the part that I get the most out of coaching,
Yeah.
is to see what, Isaac Sinnett's doing,
Yeah.
Kevy and Fitzroy
Yeah.
down in Brisbane,
Yeah.
like, enjoying themselves and stuff down there.
Yeah.
That's, talk about elevate, like,
Yeah.
there's lots of guys out of that team last year that have, over the last couple of years that have gone on, and we talked about this before,
Yeah.
that have gone on and done different things, and
Yeah.
and our footy club's been part of that journey.
Yeah.
And I think, that's a pretty cool, for me, that's a pretty cool place to be. Yeah.
No, 100%. Being willing to be part of it as opposed to trying to pull them in, keep them there. It's not a...
It's just short-term self-interest that
Yeah.
trips you up in the long term.
Yeah. So you're wearing your kit now. Thrive and connect.
Yeah, I like the grey.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Slimming.
Yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, tennis referee, but
No,
I
I like it, mate. Thrive and connect.
Thrive and Connect.
What
yeah.
is Thrive and Connect? How did Thrive and Connect come to
How did it come about?
And what is it?
Yeah, I think footy had a big influence on the club, and again, probably you're talking about elevate. I think that's a really good concept to lead into what Thrive and Connect does. That there's a set of, well, not a set, but there's different factors that allow people or facilitate people to elevate or grow or develop or overcome barriers, and they existed in our environment, and I think doing that then really made me think, well, what was it? What were the factors? Was it the footy shorts and the footy jumper and the balls? Was it the oval? It was nothing to do with footy.
No.
It was the shared purpose, like that we're all there with the same goal. It was the connection that we had with each other. It was like some of the role models that were around that were able to, challenge. So it was all these things. And like the footy was just I say this all the time, I don't even like footy that much. I've played for 35 years. I like soccer more. Like, I don't get hurt as much. Like I enjoy watching the game more.
You have said this for years. I can...
Yeah. But the connections and like I can get more out of footy. Yeah. So yeah, Thrive and Connect was about identifying that and seeing firsthand at North Cairns that some of the trajectories that shifted because of those things.
Yeah.
And just thinking that why does it, footy clubs are run by volunteers and are doing their best, and I was working in a space called positive behaviour support, and I was working with a lot of adolescent young people that were going through some really challenging times, and it just, for me, they didn't seem, like a really accessible place, for them to elevate and to grow and develop and overcome barriers and stuff. And I was using fishing, like I was doing a lot of fishing, and that became that same place with all the things we were just talking about. Yeah. And I just sort of thought that the actual thing doesn't matter, or it's not as important. Like if we can use something that connects some young people, we can do all those other, the environmental things.
Yeah, yeah.
And try and like, the idea was that through my policing, I put a lot of young people in jail.
Yeah.
That was my job. And it was, a revolving door.
Yeah.
And that through that experience and then the footy club stuff, that maybe, we can find ways to
avoid
it.
Change the trajectory of...
Yeah.
So you're working solely with adolescent youth who have just been like, how
it's not necessarily like, fit like a certain criteria, because what we're talking about are concepts that have benefited us at footy, and it's the same. We work in like a developmental window, so it's sort of from 10 to 25.
Yeah.
There's a really good book by a guy called David Yeager in America called 10 to 25.
Yeah.
And that becomes a bit of our framework that we work under.
Yeah.
And it's just about how the brain develops and responds to different things in that window.
Yeah.
And one of the big things is how susceptible or vulnerable or sensitive adolescent brain is to status and respect.
Yeah.
So, if we use a footy as an example, if we're, diminishing the status of one of our players that, you're not good enough and, you don't, that is just going to be so sensitive to that young person.
Yeah.
And so, like, our approach is very much team. We decide things as a team, like if we're cooking up feeds or where we're going fishing,
Yeah.
There might be two of the coaches, youth development coaches, 8 young people. There's 10 of us that get together and like make the plan.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got like leaders
Yeah.
that are going to be more experienced and, trained and stuff.
Yeah.
And they will show that leadership. But we've had some of the best stuff we've done is from the young people.
Yeah.
Their ideas that we've been able to help pull together.
Yeah.
We do a couple of different things, sort of like after school hour programs during the week.
Yeah.
We do some sort of like job readiness stuff. So sort of soft skill development.
Yep.
There's a fair bit of research at the moment around the importance of soft skills or, people skills in the age of AI coming for all our jobs, that the ability to adapt and be curious and critically think and solve problems is going to be a really in demand skill set.
100%.
So we're sort of doing some stuff there with work readiness groups.
How will the participants or the students become a part of Thrive and Connect?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. We get we have partnerships with like different groups around Cairns and schools, and we get self referrals a bit. Yeah. So some of the best ways are through other young people.
Yeah. I suppose they're generally probably going to be hanging around similar people.
Yeah. Yep, that happens quite a bit where that young person will introduce and in a like similar to footy, like you bring your mate down. It's like, oh, this is Billy. He's keen to have a kick.
Yeah,
he just lives around the corner.
Yeah,
and Billy's probably just seeking a bit of connection with others and a bit of shared purpose and a bit of belonging. And then next thing, Billy's there for 10 years, and so it's probably there's a similar. Yeah, I think we really want to steer away from the fixing stuff, and that is still a really dominant mindset in this work.
Yeah.
Is that here's Billy, needs to be fixed. Can you help us fix him? Like that's not what we do. And Billy don't want to be around when that's how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So very much like youth driven. We're certainly not holding anyone there if they don't want to be there. If it's not the right time,
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's the, end game? Say Billy comes in.
Yeah. Get him out of there as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in, upskill.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
basic. And then if there's behavioural issues, obviously, or
yeah.
I'm sure because probably every participant would be different. Not probably. That's the
Yep. No, 100%.
So you don't have a here we go framework for roll the kids. It's like
this is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where my non-linear thinking comes in handy, but also causes absolute nightmares for our team because
you can't progress students through it.
The goalposts are always changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what the young people that this Thrive and Connect, exists to try and meet the needs of
Yeah.
young people that the way you just described,
Yeah.
isn't working that well for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of like end game, there's a and I can't always come back to footy. I don't know, just because I've been around it so long, but and it helps explain when a player leaves our footy club to go and play at a higher level, to go and play state level footy. For us at the footy club, that's great.
Yeah.
It's that as a sign that we're doing something right here.
Yeah.
So, and we're the same. Like, we don't want to create a reliance or dependence. It's
Yeah.
and then come back and some of the young people come back and help deliver programs and things like that. But
it's a bloody cool program. I'm not in that world at all, so I don't know. But I know there's a lot of media hype about youth behaviour and across Australia, really, as far as I'm aware. Are there many? There are programs. There's definitely other programs out there. Is this program unique as far as you're aware, or it would have to be unique if you're running it? But that's the best. That'll be the best part about it.
I think, we're going to describe like how we do it differently is probably like a real genuine approach that we can learn from the young people, that are coming in.
Yeah.
They've got so much knowledge and experience and different ways of thinking and stuff that we can benefit from.
Yeah.
So I've learned, so much from just going fishing and the exchange is, but it's not just me as a psychology graduate and a behaviour support practitioner and that I'm just like this.
Yeah.
And I think we really live that. And so I think that's probably the biggest one. And maybe the other one is being really community. We want to do stuff. We do some really cool stuff down on the Esplanade or Palm Cove Jetty and things, and the interactions and is part of it.
Yeah.
That because that's what we do, isn't it? We if I'm going to take my young bloke, I'm going to go down fishing at Palm Cove, and if someone walks over and asks them what we're catching, I'm going to talk. So
Did the Cast and Connect program?
Yeah,
it's a recent launch.
Yeah, a bit of
offshoot of the Thrive and Connect.
Yeah.
Fishing's obviously a passion of yours. So presumably that's how that's come about.
Yeah.
Is it the Cast and Connect is not so much youth justice or?
No, the idea is that there isn't any land-based fishing sort of tourism stuff in Cairns that you can obviously go out on the boat for half a day or a full day of reef charter and stuff.
Yeah.
But and obviously you drive around, you see thousands of kids running around with fishing rods and stuff. But if you don't have fishing gear, you don't have fishing expertise, but you just want to, go for a fish down at the jetty, you can borrow some gear or go and buy, your gear at BCF.
Yeah.
We just wanted to create something that you could come down and have a fish, put some music on.
Yeah.
And it creates a space for the young people as well.
Yeah.
Because they know more about fishing than So for them to have some work experience and share their knowledge and skills and stuff of fishing, which is out of this world.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Where Nong's working on a few little bits and pieces at the moment. We've got a couple of YouTubers and stuff that we're going to try and do a little challenge, a bit of Thrive and Connect young people versus some more famous YouTubers.
Nice.
So just stay tuned for that one if we can get that off the ground.
I've got Nong Aru on the list here.
Yeah.
He's a incredible human, Nong. I know you speak very highly of him in our off-camera chats.
I think he's one of the most intelligent people I've got to know. Yeah, and he's only, 25, 26. I don't think he realises how smart he is. He's just got some, incredible, insight and
It's cool to see.
Yeah, you'll have to get him running or something. I'll tell you a quick funny story about Nong. He's coaching on the weekend and he's so excited and passionate, and he's just started coaching. He's going to be an outstanding coach of young blokes. And sort of talking about the last couple of minutes of a quarter to turn around away from the game and focus on what you're going to say at the break.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He all he could do was just he was so passionate and engaged about watching the game. And I love it. Like, it just speaks to his energy and his passion that he was just like, I got to watch this.
Yeah.
And I said to Joni, you're going to have to just spin him around.
That can happen.
Yeah. But yeah, I got a lot of time for Nong, and he's outstanding. Like,
He's going to be doing some cool stuff.
Man, he's
Yeah. Probably last one on Thrive and Connect just for me. I'm sure there's plenty more, but has policing, I know coaching will have helped shape what you do about in that sort of world. The policing, did that help as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is like, from the outer, policing is downstream. This Thrive and Connects is right at the much further upstream sort of solution.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, just understanding, you've talked a lot about the positive stuff, but, in different groups, we have biases, and I was no different. And I think just having that perspective that you can see how challenging it is to break some of those patterns and things. And I think that's one of the most important things that we're able to do is just understand.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can mix up understanding with acceptance, but we can understand why a young person does X, Y, and Z without accepting it that it's that it's forever.
Yeah.
And I think that is pretty important, that we can get an understanding of why certain behaviours might be happening.
Yeah.
And then
help.
Kids
people generally come into Thrive and Connect. The aim is to shift the trajectory that they're on, basically. To get some positive outcomes in future.
Yeah, improving or shifting trajectory is bang on. I think that's and that there's lots of good evidence that shows that can happen.
Yeah, once you change it, could presumably just if it's like this, straight up. Yeah,
and that's I've talked about toast my story a bit, like a phone call here. Yep. A moment here that shifts trajectory, and we've seen it already with quite a few young people. So,
I mean, you talk like there's some other. I've had ultra marathoner on here. Is into drugs, alcohol, into all of it, and then just got, but not until 33. I think the age was, but got to a point and then just went, and then now he's doing like breaking world records and doing all this crazy stuff. But I guess there was a point in time where that it was just a shift, and then it's just gone. It was like a shift to like basic level, zero exercise, basic. Now he's doing more than any human really. I don't have too much else for you, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been an awesome journey up here in Far North Queensland. We've become great mates since moving up here, been through a lot together. So yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Thanks for having me on. It's all pretty cool, isn't it? Eh?
Studio.
It's very cool.
Yeah, with a slight upgrade, so who knows, next time I have you on, look out.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate that. Cheers. Bye, mate.